This is another one that I think you're starting to see more and more, is the ability to have the brain pass the right signals, with these prosthetics that, can be mechanical or even electrical, to restore strength, right? And I think Mark Hamade, who many of you guys know his incredible story. Well, many of you guys don't know his entire incredible story, but, became paralyzed in kind of a freak accident a few years ago. And he was just sharing with us, he's in EPX, he was just sharing with us this suit that he can put on, and it starts to provide a soft like exoskeleton that can allow him hopefully to bring some of this stuff back. So I think this is pretty incredible that, your thoughts can start to control mechanical devices, which I think is pretty amazing. This one I think is really interesting, the brain-to-brain communication, right? This is like telepathy, but it's being worked on right now. And I think one of the interesting things is, like, I'm not really sure everybody wants, anybody to be reading their thoughts all the time. I don't think that's what we're talking about, but the ability, possibly without being in the same proximity to collaborate in problem solving, I think is something that's pretty frontier. I did a little bit of digging on this and couldn't find a ton of outputs. I think it's really at the very early stages, but that is something, where the interface has to come through some type of electrical conduit, which would be, the cloud or the internet or whatever. So pretty incredible. And then memory enhancement is another one. We spend a lot of time in EPX talking about nootropics, talking about brain training, talking about ways to increase your cognitive performance. But the reality, and by the way, we also have people that are like, on the stage as expert hypnotists. And this when I was learning about memory enhancement, it really brought a lot of things to the forefront. For example, like, who are we as humans, right? If you think about it, what makes me, me, what makes Tom, him, and Abby, her, is our stories and our memory of what has shaped us into who we are. So on one hand, you kind of have the ability here to, like, use computers to enhance recall. Imagine if your memories were being stored, all right, versus, relying on your subconscious to surface things. Could that be helpful, both in business, both in personal life, but also if you had damage, right, from Alzheimer's or something else? I think the ability to restore, to reboot those memories would be very, very valuable. And of course, the ability to store and recall has implications too, possibly after death. I mean, you guys have seen, a lot of the AI technology at this stage. This will all be time capsuled, where, if you have a picture, like my father passed away when I was 26. If you have a picture of him and I have his voice, which I gave you is already here, the technology is there to make him, real, right? For me to interact with him and to hear his voice and to see his face moving. Well, it's not that far from being able to restore somebody's memory.